How do I even do this? Truly, I don't know. Let's just begin and see where it goes. This is super weird. Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. Should I do the, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel? No, I think we're gonna stick with, hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thanks for being here. That was weird again. We're gonna include all of these takes because this is real life. Getting back into this. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. That was a good one. We'll keep that one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here today. Wow, we back. I got some bangs, some curtain bangs while we were apart, and many other things have happened. So I am here today to film once again. I know, big surprise to everyone. And we'll just catch up. I'm gonna be putting on some makeup. I'm gonna be putting on the makeup that I've been loving since I've been gone. Since you've been gone, I don't wanna get copyrighted, but that's what I wanna sing right now in my head. So overall, this is probably gonna be a pretty weird video just because it's been a minute. I haven't filmed since, the last time you saw me was August, but I actually haven't filmed since July. And it is now November 18th, the day I'm filming this. I'm not sure when you're gonna see it. It might be next Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday. Or it might be a week after that. And we're in December when you're seeing this. Who knows how the chips will turn out. I don't know. That expression didn't make sense. I don't play poker. I don't know what I'm talking about. The chips will fall where they may. I know that's a thing. But yeah, so if you're new here, welcome. This is a weird place for you to start, and you should probably go watch some of my other videos because they're gonna be better than this one. Before we get into it, you can subscribe if you wanna. Oh, also, if you wanna follow me on Instagram and other social media outlets, you may. We'll put that down below here. That's all. Let's just put some makeup on. Okay, transition. First thing, before I pin these back, I got some curtain bangs. I've had these actually for quite some time. I kind of started in late summer, I think, getting kind of curtain bangs, and I've just basically every time that I've gotten them cut, I get them cut shorter. Is this the best solution? Yeah, that feels like a no. Ow! We're just gonna do a headband. Nobody laugh at me. This is normal, but yeah, and I really like them, and it's probably gonna be here to stay for quite some time. I'm really into it. Let's just get started. I'm gonna kind of go back and forth between talking about makeup and talking about my life. I'm gonna spray my face first because my face is just feeling a little lackluster. I'm gonna have a little mini Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. All the things that I love. Yeah, got a little electric fan instead of my little hand fan. I'm gonna go ahead and put my primer on my face just so it can be resting. I'm just using the Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas. I think this is fine, but you know, it does what it does. The main thing that you probably said when I started this video, we moved. Here we are, not in my living room anymore. We got out of our last apartment by the end of September, and we were fully in here. We started moving in kind of like halfway through September. We're in a different apartment. It's a bigger apartment than our last one. And we have a whole room that is, you know, dedicated to this, so I'm not like having to set up and break down the camera and the setup and all that all the time. So it's just permanently up, which is great. I hope you like it. This is our like a guest room also, because this is also, it lays out into a bed. It's a futon couch, so multi-purpose. And I know that this shelf over here is really dark, but we're gonna kind of work on getting some lighting for over there to make it look less weird. I'm really sorry. We live next to a very busy road now, and actually literally like an hour ago there was a pretty big crash literally at the intersection that's directly through the woods next to the apartment, and so there's a lot of sirens, and that's just gonna happen. It is what it is. Just prime my eyes with my Urban Decay primer potion as per usual. But yeah, so there's a lot of sirens happening around us all the time. There's literally, we are surrounded by fire stations, so that's super fun. I was in the middle of putting tinted brow gel through my brows, which is the Merit Volumizing Pomade. I have the shade Blonde. It's really good. I like it. It's a really good shade for my brows. For my light brows, and it's not too warm toned. So I just filled in my brows with my Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 3. I am still doing my brow pen brows a lot. Another new thing that you're gonna see now. This is the new Vive MUSE eyeshadow palette. The MUSE palette. Vive, the brand by Jamie Genevieve, is been one of my favorites recently. And I love her original palette, the Essential palette that she first came out with, like when her brand first launched. And then just recently, a couple months ago, some time ago, she came out with this palette, the MUSE palette. This is pretty recent, last couple months. So it's a pink tone palette, but it is the most interesting pink toned, romantic toned palette that I've ever seen. These mattes are just such nuanced little shades. I've never seen, I don't have anything like most of these mattes in here. They're just so different. Maybe except for like Velvet, because it's like just a nice rich plum, which is decently common, I'd say. But the rest of them are really unique, actually. They are not what they just appear based on look. So that's a really special palette. That's what I'm gonna use today. None of my brushes are clean, but that's fine. I'm just gonna use this big old fluffy brush. This is a Smith 237. And I'm gonna go in with the shade Peony, which is this lightest shade up here, this lightest matte. And it's actually, it looks kind of just like a cream, but it's actually a really light, pale pink. Very slightly pink. It's just really nice. So I'm just gonna kind of set my eyelid with that so that we can build. I'm just gonna sweep it over it. So what happened, the last video that you saw, the Glossier full brand review, full face of Glossier, that video. The day that I was, the night that I was supposed to post that, my sister was in a really serious car accident. And it actually happened in Colorado. She was on a trip with some friends and her boyfriend. And they were in a really serious car accident. They were hit by someone speeding on the interstate who was also drunk, I believe. Yeah, he was definitely drunk. My sister and her boyfriend, they were both really seriously injured. They were thrown from the car. It was really scary for the first, really scary for the first at least 72 hours, 3 to 4 days. Just because she was in the hospital. My parents just very quickly flew out there the next morning when we all found out on Saturday morning. That happened and it freaked me out, so I obviously just didn't post the video that I had ready to post. So I had that video for a while before I posted it. Which direction am I gonna go in? I think I'll go in with Bow and then Mystic. Just gonna lightly kind of dab between Bow and Peony. Just to start transitioning. I don't know what kind of look I'm going for today. We're just going for something. But yeah, so she was in a really serious car accident and that freaked all of us out. We were really scared. She was sedated in the hospital. She had to have several surgeries and broke a lot of things, including her head. I'm not gonna go into it too much, but basically my parents and my sister were out in Colorado while she was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Michael and I had to go stay at my parents' house to take care of their dogs and my sister's dog and all that kind of stuff. She is okay. She was in a wheelchair for a while because she broke one of her legs and her pelvis. And she's doing great now. She, in the last month, started walking without a walker or anything. So she's doing really great. So we're all super thankful for that. But it was just a really scary time. This was in August. So then the week after she got home, actually, literally the week after she flew home, Michael and I got COVID. Can you say that on the internet? Probably. We got the disease. We got COVID. We were sick for quite some time. It wasn't that bad. It was kind of just like having the flu. Pretty much right when we got better, we started packing to move. So we were packed up and then we moved. So then we were getting settled and waiting on some things to get this set up in here set up and all that kind of thing. And in that time, Michael and I both had our birthdays. I'm 26 now. In the latter half of my 20s. Wow. And then recently I had something else personally happen to me that I'm not gonna talk about on here. I'm not ready to. Maybe one day I will be. I think one day I will be for sure, but I'm not ready yet. It's still too recent for me. So yeah, so that brings us up to now. Pretty much the last few months have just been kind of a crazy time overall for myself and for my family. Let me actually pause for a second before I go further, because I started dipping into Mystic, which is a more cool toned transition moment, but I don't know what shade I'm gonna put on my lid. I do love all of these. These shimmers in here are stunning. I probably actually will use Peony, or not Peony, Divine right here on my inner corner, but I have used, there's 3 shimmers in this palette, Finery, Regal, and then Divine. There they are. Wow. So nice. I brought out another product that I've been loving that I wanted to show you guys. And here's all the shades I have of them. These are the Cosmic Pearl Dewy eyeshadows from M Cosmetics, and I have 5 shades. I will insert a picture that I have of these swatched. I took a picture outside in the sun, and you can really see the gloriousness of these. Luna is a really interesting, it's the lightest shade that I have, and it's like this champagne that leans cooler toned, silvery. It's a really interesting shade. It's very sparkly. Then I have Helios, which is a really warm orangey copper. Then I have Venus, which is a really pretty pink that has a gold shift. Then I have Star Child. It's a cooler toned pink with some neutrality to it. And then we have Scorpius, which is like a really deep magenta cranberry color. I'm gonna swatch the few that I'm thinking about for this look. I'm thinking about those last 3 for this palette because they kind of match the vibes. This formula is really interesting. It's a cream and powder hybrid. Like, it's not specifically a cream or specifically a powder for sure in any way. But it's definitely the most interesting formula of eyeshadow that I've seen, I think. So here's the 3 shades I'm considering. Star Child, Venus, and Scorpius. Oh, I don't know. My gut is telling me Star Child. I think that is what I will go with. So this one. Yes, that is what my gut is telling me. But these are really beautiful. I've been loving them since they came out a few months ago, sometime. Not crazy recent, but a few months ago for sure. So we're gonna go in like a cooler tone direction, I think. I've really been, it's so easy to go warm with this, like this shade here, Source. Oh, light of my whole life, this shade. It's like this warm terracotta rose shade. It's so perfect. I love it so much. I think this will probably be the first time that I use this palette and not touch that shade. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna stretch myself to use other things. Yeah, so I'm gonna go in with Love, which is this warm pink shade. This is like, I think that these eyeshadow palettes from Vive, they might be like my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Like, I really thought, wow, maybe it's just the fact that the shade selection of the first Essential palette is so me and so like perfectly my vibe. But no, I think it's all things. I think it's her formula. I think it's the shades that she creates. They're just so different and nuanced and special. And the formula is just perfection. I've also been using this shade Merlot a lot. It's a really nice warm wine color, but I'm gonna go in with Velvet instead. Ugh, stun. We're gonna go in with Star Child, the Cosmic Pearl Dewy Shadow. I'm using my finger, and you do not need a lot with this. These things are so pigmented. Like, I'm just gonna tap and watch this. Who's ready? You're not. Are you kidding me? This is a sheer layer. Really sheer. Like, that's the kind of payoff you get from a sheer layer. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more. We're just gonna slowly build this sucker up. The levels of stunning. I literally can't. These are really good. If you didn't notice, they're good. They're really good. I've really gotten so much weirder since you've seen me last. Sorry. I'm just gonna continue to define the lash line with that deepest shade. We're just playing. We're just playing around. Yep, that eye look is pretty much perfect. I'm gonna apply some mascara. I'm gonna be using the Rare Beauty. Does this have a specific name? No, it's just the Rare Beauty mascara. This is newish as well. I don't remember when it came out, but I've tried this in the months since I've seen you, and it's really, really good. The brush is not crazy interesting. I mean, as you can see, it's got a slight hourglass shape to it, but it's mainly fluffy, pretty packed, voluminous type bristle. But what's crazy for me is it wears for years. I mean, it would literally never come off unless you just took it off. And it's not crazy hard to remove. It's just so long wearing. I've worn this for over 12 hours. 0 flakes, 0 smudges. Crazy. I'm gonna apply this and we'll be back because it's not interesting to watch anybody apply mascara. So there's that mascara. This is definitely like the first thing from this brand, Rare Beauty, Selena Gomez's brand, that has really, really impressed me. I think just her other stuff just hasn't been for me personally. I think it's good stuff. I've heard great things about a lot of her releases, but this has been the first thing for me personally that has like really, really impressed me. I'm gonna throw some jewelry on because I definitely meant to before I started filming. And I just remembered. So let's move into the face. This is the Vive Skin Nova. This is a instant radiance primer. It's like one of those glowy, dewy bases to put under your foundation, to mix with your foundation. Has some skincare benefits. This one is different from like the Auric Glow Lust or Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. It's more of a gel consistency and just a little less rich, thick of a texture, more of like a thinner gel. It really blends out seamlessly, as you can see. I've gone ahead and blended it out. I dropped the cap, but that's fine. I have a feeling I'm gonna go through this really quickly and need another one because you can already see she thinning out. It's just a really nice glowy primer, but it's not crazy glowy, and it does have a little bit more of a set down than some of my other ones. Like it has more of a set down than Glossier Future do, for sure. But yes, so that's that, and I love it. Moving on to foundation, the Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30 tinted sunscreen. It's a skin tint. I have the shade 15 Melrose, which is the third from the lightest shade. I'm pulling it up right now. 14 shades, that's correct, yes. It goes really, really deep, which is awesome, super awesome. And yes, it's a tinted sunscreen. This is the first ever makeup product that is approved by the National Eczema Association. And as you guys know, I have eczema here and here. It's a little bit duller right now. It's not crazy flared, but I do have eczema at all times on my face. This is great for sensitive skin. It is a mineral sunscreen. It's not a chemical sunscreen. So that's also awesome, especially for people with deeper skin tones. I know it can be difficult if you have sensitive skin and you do have a deeper skin tone, because a lot of times chemical sunscreens, like for me, they do irritate my skin. So I need a mineral sunscreen. And if you have a deeper skin tone and that's also the case for you, then it can be really difficult because they leave a white cast. But this shade range goes so deep, which is super awesome. And it's just amazing. And it's not crazy dewy, it's not matte, it's a natural finish. And it does shift a bit based on what you put underneath it. So I, prep a little glowy so it does look a little glowier, but it does set down to a really natural finish. I also really love the nozzle on this. I only have one other product that has a nozzle like this, and it's a liquid blush from Flower Beauty. But it's such a good controlled dispenser nozzle. So I just like to draw it on, whoop, just like that. And I've found through experimenting that this is best blended in with my fingers, and then I'll go over it with a sponge just to blend out the any leftover lines. But it melts so beautifully with the skin when you use your fingers. And it is a nice light to medium coverage. You can build it up to be like just about a medium coverage, but I'd say it's a little on the lighter side, which you guys know is my jam. So I blend it out. I just find that it works the best with my fingers because of the warmth from my fingers. It really spreads it so nicely. I'm gonna add just a little bit more on my cheeks before I go in with my sponge. Right here, that's where my eczema is the most red. This is worn really beautifully on me. I think it's just an excellent product. And I think what's so amazing about it is that not only does it work amazingly for me, but it's gonna work really well on pretty much everybody, every skin type and every skin tone, because it is a natural finish. Like, it's not like a dewy natural, it's a natural skin finish. And you'll see as it dries down throughout the video. So now I'm gonna go in with my sponge. I do like to just prime my sponge with a little bit of it, literally super small amount, just so it doesn't immediately start picking up the product that's on my face. This is like at my favorite coverage level, a solid light coverage, just a little bit more evened out. Just stunning. Next is concealer. And for concealer, I've really been liking the Rose Ink concealers. I'm actually still trying to fully figure them out, but I've been using them a lot and I just really like it. So Rose Ink is a pretty new brand, just came out in the last couple months by Rosie Huntington Whiteley, who is a model. I think there's about 20 shades. I think it might be like 21 or 22, but I think it's about 20 shades. So it's a really nice shade range. She just came out with a concealer, some cream blushes, some brow products, and some lip products, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. But this is the only complexion product so far. So these, I really like the packaging of them. They're just really nice. So I have two shades. I have the shades LX30 and LX50. I kind of got them in tandem just for summer. When I first got this, I was a lot tanner. And then I got a lighter color for winter. But right now I'm kind of in between, so I'm gonna mix them on a little palette just so that it's a little bit more even. But this concealer has really great coverage, really great texture and stretchability. I would definitely say it is like a radiant finish, but it's not crazy dewy to where people who have oily skin couldn't wear them. Like it's definitely not like a concealer that is too dewy or too matte. Again, it's kind of one of those in the middle type of textures, but it's a really nice creamy consistency, has really great coverage, as you will see. I'm gonna use a brush to spread this out initially because I'm just gonna work with this small amount and then add a little bit as I need it. I'm gonna shape my eye look with this brush as well. So there's a really nice sheer layer, which looks really pretty. I do think I just want more coverage on my face, so I'm gonna use a little bit more on my cheeks here, on my chin, because I have a zit coming in down there. I think my forehead's okay. I'll just touch it a little bit. I'm just gonna blend that with my sponge. Wow, this is really reminding me that I've really gotten pale. It's so sad. So a really awesome trick that I've learned, I'm sure I've mentioned on my channel, but if you haven't heard me say this before, a really great trick if you're worried about there being too much product on your face is to just go over with your fingers, because it'll remove any excess product that's on your face, and also the warmth of your hands will just melt in the product. And this is a tip that I've learned from Katie Jane Hughes, who is a professional makeup artist. If you've never heard of her, I would definitely recommend checking her out on Instagram. I've learned a lot from her. Yes, I'm very happy with this base. Feeling really good about it, and oh, that just looks really nice and fresh, and I love it. Contour then bronzer. So I'm gonna use two cream cheek products as bronze and contour. First for contour, I'm gonna go in with, this is from Armani. This is the Neo Nude Melting Color Balm in the shade 20, which is like a cool, I think it's called like cool brown, something like that. But it's a really pretty contour shade. And this is a really interesting texture because it is cream, but it's a very dry cream. Not in a bad way, not like it looks dry on the face, but the actual texture is quite dry. So it's just really interesting, but it does make it very long lasting. It's not so creamy that it doesn't last on your face. So I'm just gonna use this to chisel my face. And these are really pretty and pigmented, nice and buildable. I do have another shade in this product that's a blush shade. I do think that it's just an interesting formula as a whole, so. But Armani is expensive, so I'm probably gonna take my time. I'm not really worried about purchasing any other shades in it. I like it, I like it, I like what I say. Now for the warmth, the bronze, this is the Say Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer in the shade Light Bronze. I was convinced that I would not like this bronzer when I saw it come out because I thought that it was just gonna be too warm. Wow, I have brush hairs all up in that thing. It looks nasty. But that is not the case. The fact is that I love it. It's such a good formula. So nice and warm. But not like orange warm. And the finish is beautiful. I really love the formula. Love the color. We have several shades in this. And yeah, I just truly think that it fulfills all of my bronzy dreamy standards. So I'm just gonna do a light amount of this. Well, a light amount for me, which is a lot for most people because bronzer is a lifestyle. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this here bronzer. Definitely in my favorites rotations situation. I want to do my lower lash line of eyeshadow, but first let me set the face. Yeah, let me set the face. Who am I? You guys know I'm not gonna set my whole face. Absolutely not. I am gonna use my Kosas Cloud Set Powder, which, Kosas, we need to like have a talk because my packaging on this is broken. Oh God, that was so scary. But she's okay. First of all, look at the dent that I've made in this thing. This used to be a large round dome. She flat. Number two, the lid broke and hold please. It is the same thing with my Kosas bronzer. These are the same packaging, just like different finish, different color, literally the same. And it's happened to both of them. Let me know if this has happened to you so I can not feel alone. But I'm very upset and I didn't like, I think what it is the clasp was too difficult to open. That the hinge at the back couldn't take the pressure over time. I'm guessing just because the hinge is what started to crack at the back. And I'm fairly upset about it. I know that I'm aggressive, but I try to be very gentle with my makeup and I don't think that this was my fault. I think that it is a packaging issue. But either way, this powder is still perfection and I'm still gonna use it. Let me tap out my under eyes, making sure there's no creasage. Do a little bit on the forehead. I'm gonna set my nose a little bit. I'm gonna set my chin just because I've got that zit down there that I'm covering. So I wanna make sure that concealer I used to cover it up stays put. There we are. Okay, that's the powder. It's still beautiful. This has been a favorite for a minute. No one is surprised. Back for the lower lash line. Let's go in with Mystic for the lower lash line to start with for sure. On a nice, small, fluffy brush. I'm gonna look way down like that so that I don't lift my forehead and crease my base. Now I'm just taking a larger fluffy brush with that lightest pale shade on it to just blend out the edges. Do I want to go any deeper? Maybe I will just add a very small amount of velvet right up against my lash line on the outer corners. Yes, I like that. And then to finish off the eye look, I'm gonna take the shade Divine just the lightest shimmer in this palette. We're gonna put this on the inner corners. I'm so out of practice for holding the mirror, so it's really hard for me to not hold it right in front of my face. So this is the eye look, all complete. I would put a little bit of mascara on my lower lashes, but my lower lashes have just quit on me lately. They're super sparse. There's no point in even trying. Now that I've done my bronzer and everything as well, that's gonna be up here, I'm gonna go ahead and set my brows. I wanted to show you guys the Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel. Lamination? Why did I say that weird? Also, I'm off center. It's so sticky and goopy. Literally, she thick. And it's got this really cool wand where the bristles that stick out are just on one side and it's kind of curved. So you can really get into your brows, and this sets it for the day and it will not move. And it's so thick that like there's some resistance when you drag it through your brows. Main thing with this, one whole brow at a time. I'm not gonna move over here because this dries super quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and shape my brows how I want them to be for the rest of the day. And I'm gonna redefine my brows with the pencil in just a minute as well. There they are. They are set, and I'm just gonna define the bottom with my pencil in just a minute, probably. Not probably, I will, but I'm gonna wait for this to completely dry first. Blush, and then lips, and that's it. Okay, cool. We can do it. We can do it. Blush. I have a couple options here for blush, and I don't know what I'm gonna use. I brought out a few just because I didn't know what color direction I was gonna go in exactly for my eyes. I have here two different formulas. The Lip and Cheek colors from Rose Inc. And I have the Victoria Beckham Cheeky Posh stick blushes. So here's the shade I'm considering in the Victoria Beckham. This is the shade Mini Skirt. Oof, so pretty. What a nice brown berry. Oh, I love that one. Maybe. And then I have 3 shades here in the Rose Inc. Foxglove, that one's gonna be too warm. It's definitely really terracotta. Oh, so stunning though. This is a really good formula for blush, I would say. Oh, maybe this one. Dahlia. Ooh, I think that's the one. And then Heliotrope, which is a really nude pink, which would also look pretty. Maybe both of these? Here's what I'll say about these blushes. I like these Victoria Beckham blushes. I think that these are overpriced. You could get the same type of formula for something cheaper, for a cheaper price. I don't think the formula is special enough to warrant the luxury price of Victoria Beckham. The packaging is beautiful and heavy and all that stuff. But as far as cream blush, there's so many great ones. And I don't think that you need to get these if you want a stick cream blush. For a stick cream blush, I'd recommend any of the Nude Sticks stick blushes, which is all of them. All of their blushes are stick blushes. Those are amazing. The M Cosmetics So Soft stick blushes are incredible. So those 2 formulas I would recommend over this. Not that these aren't good, they are good and I will use them, but they're just not any better than those other formulas that are cheaper. That's all, but that is a really pretty shade. But I think it's too warm for this look. We wanna go in a cooler direction. So I think I'm gonna use Dahlia and Heliotrope. But this formula, on the other hand, she's special. She's real good. First of all, very thick texture. These are removable pans, so once you go through one, you can just purchase another pan, which is great. But these are so long lasting and so pigmented. You do not need a lot. I think that I will use both. Yes, I think that I want to mix these 2 together. I'm gonna mix them on my palette here to get the color that I want. But I really like this formula. It is super long lasting for a cream blush for sure. It's very thick. Yes, that's the color. That's gonna be the one. So this is a mix of Dahlia and Heliotrope, and you're gonna need a decently dense brush because it's a dense formula. So the denser the formula, the denser the bristles on your brush need to be, just as a good rule of thumb. But man, these are super long wearing. They will apply with a brush for sure, not a problem there. I would just be careful because they're really pigmented and you can pick up too much just picking it straight up out of the pan. I would really lightly tap. But I also like it with my fingers because it melts. So it'll go a bit further and you'll be able to blend for longer because of the warmth of your fingers. We are really in a blushy place today. Some people did not like when I used a lot of blush in the video where I used the Alana Davison collab with Nude Sticks, the shade Picante, the orange blush. Some people really did not like how much blush I used in that video. And I know that it was a lot. I know. I realized that it was excessive, but I liked it. And that's all that matters. And 2, who cares? Number 1 is who cares. Number 2 is blush fades throughout the day, usually, and it settles into your skin. So if you apply a lot, after it settles, it really like settles into your skin and looks a lot more natural. These blushes are really good. Would highly recommend. I think this is my favorite thing that I've tried from the brand, are these blushes from the Rose Inc brand. Really good. Wow, that's blush. I do want to melt it in with some setting spray, but I think I'm going to use something different than the Tatcha just because it's so dewy and I don't want it to be insanely dewy. I'm going to use this, Hourglass one. Last thing, lips. I brought out a few lip colors just depending on which direction I would go in. I have some new shades from Victoria Beckham in the Posh lipstick. I have this shade Pose. But I also grabbed the Armani, this is the Lip Maestro in the shade 103. It's a very pinky beige. I don't want to overpower the eye. So I think I'm going to go with this really nudie pinky beige, but I will line it with something deeper. I think I'll line it with Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury. It does need to be sharpened a little bit. Iconic Nude is a really cool toned, like contoury nude shade. It's not like crazy warm. So what I'm gonna do, since this is like a matte lip, I want it to be kind of like a blurred moment. So I'm gonna apply just that much, rub my lips together, and blend it in with my finger. Like that. And then I'll go in with my lip liner. I do like this combo, but it is really, really light nude, which is good sometimes. But I think I want it to be a little deeper. So I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go in with Victoria Beckham, the lip liner in shade 4. This is like pretty deep. Use it on the outer corners and blend that with my finger. Yes, that's giving me what I want. I know I'm making this look like completely unachievable, but I'm gonna add a little bit of Pose, the Victoria Beckham Posh lipstick. I'm happy with that. This was a mildly successful video back. It took me about 1,000 years to record. Yep, about 1,000 years, just checked. It's been approximately 997 years. But that's what's been happening with me since July, really, because I actually filmed that last video that you guys saw in July. I didn't post it until sometime in August, whenever that happened. Hopefully it won't be 4 months till you see me again. I make no promises. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna be back. We'll see how it goes. Could be every week, every Friday that you'll find me here. Could be every other Friday. Just depends. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, just maybe let me know. Say hiya down in the comments. We haven't chatted in a while, so I'll appreciate hearing from you guys. And for those of you who are actually new to my channel, because for some reason people continued to subscribe to my channel, I appreciate you. If you did subscribe to me in the last few months, you're a true friend, so let's chat down in the comments. Let me know if you've actually tried any of these things that I talked about here today. That would be fun to know. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. And if you haven't tried, if there was something in the video that you had not tried and you were looking forward to trying, maybe let me know that too. Alrighty guys, I'll see you next time. How do I do this again? Bye? Okay. Bye? I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. That still felt weird, but okay.